when you eat a meal, here's a question for you. When you eat a meal, do you feel like the nutrients like making you stronger inside? You're like, oh, that spaghetti, yeah, tomorrow, oh yeah, I'm going to be running that mile. No. You eat a good food, you don't feel it doing anything, but does it make you stronger? Heck yeah, it does. If you think it doesn't make you stronger, try fasting for like 3 days. Okay, you'll figure out food makes you stronger. It's the same with sermons. For some of you younger ones especially, you haven't figured that out maybe because it's just an age thing. Some of you older ones, you already know that, but some of you younger ones are like, honestly, the 20-minute messages are like, or 25, 30, whatever. The sermon part of the night is like my least favorite part because like I just sit there, I don't feel anything happening, I just like class, you know. But honestly, you don't know it, but this is probably like spiritually one of, like this is like spaghetti, you know, and those nutrients will feed you each week. So each week you get here for a sermon, it's a high quality, high nutrient meal. I put a lot of time into them and they will feed you week after week. So if you ever miss one, I encourage you to go online and, like, if you miss the whole week, a Thursday night, I encourage you to go online, get that sermon, get some nutrients pumped in you for the upcoming week, so you get you can get built stronger by it. So, all right, let's see here. All right, I need my PowerPoint. Believe it or not, this message is not about charity. Pretty as she is to me. Oh, I got to start. Okay, so, well, you can at least see the title. I'll give you a tease. You can see the title. That moment you realize you ain't even been awake yet. This message is going to be a little bit trippy, but in a good way. All right, we got a video clip. I think I have 3 video clips in this sermon. This is like a video clip sermon. All right, this first one's called Awake. All right, so what'd you think of that? What was wrong with all the people in the video? Yeah, they were asleep, right? Basically asleep. I know in my notes they were like zombies, right? They were alive, eyes open, but they were just like not fully awake, right? Agreed? There was a mission dangling right in front of them on their screens. It's a mission. Do this. This is the way to get it done. And they just sitting there, munching on their sandwich, looking on their screens. Maybe the first time. Yeah, maybe the first time. But after like the second or third, it's kind of like, could be. Yeah, you might be calling the police. Do something. But what did they do? They literally just stood there. He took a bite out of his sandwich. He took a bite out of his sandwich, right? Asleep. People asleep with their eyes open. So I got a question for you. You ever had a dream where you thought you were awake in the dream? Like you didn't know it was a dream? Do you have any like tricks for like how to, we have one of those dreams where you're not sure if you're awake or asleep? You ever have those ones where you're actually not sure? I have. What do? Do you have any like tricks? Have you figured out any tricks to like tell if you're asleep or not? What some of your tricks?
I need some because I feel like I was up all night last night.
Okay.
And I don't know if I was because I was tired all day, but at the same time, like I don't think.
You don't know if you were.
No, I don't think I'd be able to stay up that long.
Okay. So maybe you were asleep, but you don't know if you were asleep.
I felt like lightheaded, dizzy, and I felt like I puked and I was nauseous.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't know if I really. I don't know.
So how about, has anybody had one where you weren't sure if you were awake or asleep and you did something to test to find out? And if so, what'd you do? What I try to do is I scream. Because if I try to scream and I can't scream, then I know I'm in a dream. Raise your hand if you've tried screaming in your dream and it doesn't work. Or it's just me. Okay. And me, that's one of my things with dreams. If I scream, I can't, it doesn't work. Another thing is if you taste food. You find some food around, you try to taste it. It shouldn't taste like anything in a dream. It's the saddest thing. You can get a handful of cookies and it's like, there's nothing here. It's kind of depressing. I've had many dreams where it's like I sit down and there's like this amazing feast and I'm just about to enjoy it and then like I wake up from my dream. It's like a nightmare, food nightmare. I don't know. But now this is kind of trippy. Raise your hand. Have you ever woken up from a dream, but then you found out you actually were still in the dream?
Yes.
So okay. Several of you guys saying yes, definitely. Okay, when you actually wake up or when you in the dream? When you actually wake up. So it's kind of a dream within a dream when that happens, right? Yeah. I've definitely had it happen where like I'm in the dream, I know it's a dream, and then I finally wake up, I'm in my bed, I get up out of my bed, and then I find out, oh my goodness, I'm still in the dream, and then I actually wake. Normally I don't find out the second layer until I actually wake up. I was like, oh, that one was a dream too. It's kind of freaky when that happens. Yeah, Jalen. What's that? Yeah.
I woke up and then I got out of bed and I go upstairs, but somehow I got back to my room and I'm like, what's the dream?
Oh my goodness. Okay. So you moved around. You physically got up and walked around. Okay. Anybody else sleepwalk? Do a little sleepwalking? That can be embarrassing, right? It can be. Yeah, it happens.
Well, here's a thing that I haven't seen, but there's something called sleep fighting.
Sleep fighting? Oh my goodness. I've heard of a lot of stuff happening.
No, it's like you fight in your sleep.
When my brother was sleepwalking, he pulled down his pants and peed on the floor.
Yep, I've heard of guys doing that. Yep.
I'm like, I was watching him all the time. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
All right. So I got a question for you. What if right now... All right, listen up. What if right now all of us are actually asleep. You're like, nah, we had candy. I'm pretty sure we just sang a song. Like, this can't be this. We can't. But what if actually we were all asleep right now, and like what if some computers had taken over the world, and they just program us all to have, we're like basically in a super good VR game, but we're all still asleep somewhere. Isn't that a little bit trippy? All right, no, let me keep going.
So it's like Sword Art Online?
Kind of like that, yeah, similar to that. There's a movie called The Matrix. It's a film franchise called The Matrix. All right, I wouldn't recommend it. The second and third movie, there's some dirty stuff in them, and I read reviews before. Always read reviews before you see a movie if you're not sure if it's going to surprise you. And I read the reviews, and I was like, oh man, I can't go see that. So, but basically the premise of the movie is this: there's a giant war between machines, computers, and humans, and basically the computers win the war. And so what they do is they put all the humans to sleep. And then what they do is they move them all close together and they hook them all up to a machine, basically a VR machine. And basically the humans think they're awake. So like they make it exactly like the real world. Like people get up and go to work every day, but all 10 million people in the world, they're all in this giant VR reality. And super high tech, you can talk to people, like you can, even though they're all asleep and connected, like literally they're in little tubes like this. All the humans are in little tubes, and the computers are basically using the humans as batteries for energy. So they keep the humans asleep, and they want to keep them alive because their heart makes electrical energy. And so all the humans are asleep, and they're all hooked up like this, but in their minds, they're all in this world. They're all in this VR world living, and that's actually Earth. Earth is the VR world. So like they think they're going to school and dating people and getting married and eating food, but they're really all just in a tube asleep. And the computers are sending those images into their mind. So they're all just sleeping, basically, in a really high-tech, fancy dream.
I would really like
Yeah.
to dream
I would be sad if I woke up and I had
And some of the guys decide that. Some of the guys find out, and they're like, you know what, as long as it's and the computers give them a good life. Like, they let them have everything they want because they're just using them for energy. So the basic premise of the movie is one of the guys wakes up. One of the guys wakes up in his tube, okay? And he's like, oh, my goodness, this is a trap. We're all, like, hooked up. But his problem is just like the problem in the guy in that clip that we watched. He wakes up, but everybody else in the world is still asleep. And that's a pretty lonely place. When you wake up and you're the only one that's awake, right? It's like, in a way, you might want to go back. Just put me back to sleep so I can be with my friends again. Because I don't like this reality. This is terrible to find out things are really like this in the world. So think about that. What a lonely situation to be awake, but you're the only one who's awake. And the reason I say that is the message I'm about to give you has the chance to wake you up in a way that maybe you're not awake yet. But it comes with a warning. If you do that, it might be lonely living this way, because you might find a lot of other people are still asleep. All right? So you still want to hear the sermon? All right. You've been warned. Understand you've been warned.